Good morning, students. We are going to the next spectroscopy, which is known as electronic spectroscopy or UV visible spectroscopy. Electromagnetic radiation involved is two. One is ultraviolet and one is visible light. So it is known as UV visible spectroscopy. Changes occur in electronic energy levels. Therefore, it can also be known as electronic spectroscopy. Since changes occur in electronic energy level, it is also known as electronic spectroscopy. So, electromagnetic spectrum range is from 180 nanometer to 800 nanometer. So, this can be split up into 180 to 400 nanometer, we call it as ultraviolet, and 400 to 800, we call it as visible. Nowadays, up to 1000 it is known. So, that we call it as near IR actually. We have already seen that. Okay, you remember 180 to 800 nanometer. 400 to 800 is visible region, which is sensible to our eyes, which we can see, or that type of molecules which absorbs in this 400 to 800 we can see with our naked eye, and it appears as a colored substance. Then 180 to 400 nanometer is ultraviolet region, and in this region there is one problem. That is, absorption of oxygen and nitrogen in air takes place in this region. So when you take a compound, automatically it will contain air. So that absorption also is seen in this one. So if you want to study the compounds under this region 180 to 200, we need vacuum instruments. That is, completely air should be evacuated and we should study it. Therefore, that region we can call it as vacuum ultraviolet region. It's also known as vacuum ultraviolet region. So the region 180 to 200 nanometer requires evacuation of air completely, and therefore it needs sophisticated instruments. That region is less studied, and that region we call it as vacuum ultraviolet region. So substance absorbing in the visible range appear colored to the human eye. So if you again split up that range, we can say that 180 to 200 nanometer, you can call it as far UV. It is vacuum UV. It's also known as vacuum UV. 200 to 400 nanometer is the ordinary UV. 400 to 800 nanometer is a visible one. We can know this white light can be split up into 7 colors: VIBGY or violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. So you can have 7 colors. Then UV visible spectrum is a plot of radiation absorbed versus wavelength. So this will be the typical UV spectrum. So in the y-axis it will be absorbance, x-axis it will be wavelength. We used to take wavelength here. Then theory of electronic spectroscopy. Electronic spectroscopy involves the study of electronic transition from lower to higher energy level in a molecule by absorption of ultraviolet or visible radiation. So when you are taking, that is energy levels, electronic energy level only transition. That is, an electron in the valence shell will be shifted from lower energy to higher energy state. And for that transition, what we need is, if suppose this is the ground state and this is the excited state, the energy required delta E is equal to E excited state minus E ground state. Then according to Born-Oppenheimer approximation, we know total energy of a molecule in any state is the sum of electronic, vibrational and rotational energies. We will not consider translational energy because since it is not quantized. So E total, you can write it as E, EL, E vibe, E rotational. Sum of all this, E, EL plus E vibe plus E rot. That is energy due to electronic energy level plus energy of the vibrational energy level plus energy of the rotational energy level. Now let us consider E2 prime EL, E vibe 2 prime, E rotation 2 prime be the electronic, vibrational and rotational energy of a molecule in the lower energy, and E single prime be the electronic vibration and rotational energy of the molecule in the excited energy. It is conventional method that we use to denote excited state by a single prime, that is 1 apostrophe, and lower state by double prime 2 apostrophe. So this commas, like this inverted commas, when you put 1 prime 2 prime. So 1 prime is for higher excited state and lower one is 2 prime. So ground state we denote by 2 prime. Ground state is equal to sum of electronic energy level plus vibration plus rotational. Similarly, excited state is equal to single prime. So electronic energy plus vibrational energy plus rotational energy. Then energy required for the transition is delta E is equal to E of excited state minus E ground state. That is E L 1 prime plus E vibe 1 prime plus E rod 1 prime. This is the energy of the excited state minus E electron 2 prime plus E vibe 2 prime plus E rotation 2 prime. This is the energy of ground state. So we can take out the common terms together. So EL prime minus EL double prime, that is delta EL. E vibe single prime plus E vibe double prime, that is delta vibe. E rotational single prime minus E rotational double prime, that is delta rotational. So we can write delta E is equal to delta E electronic plus delta E vibrational plus delta E rotational. Okay, so this is what is the energy needed. So this is in joules, we used to express in joules. If you want to express in centimeter inverse, divide that by Hc. So delta E is equal to delta EL plus delta EY plus delta E rotation divided by Hc, where H is the Planck's constant and C is the velocity of the light. So we got both the transitional energy. So delta E in joules means it is the sum of the change in electronic energy level plus change in vibrational energy plus change in rotational energy, that is in joules. If you want to express in centimeter inverse, what we have to do is delta E change in electronic energy level plus change in vibrational energy level plus change in rotational energy level. Take the sum, the whole divided by Hc will give you delta E in terms of centimeter inverse. Now if you take the order of this energy, what we can write is electronic energy level is equal to vibrational energy level into 10 to the power 3, and that in turn is equal to rotational energy into 10 to the power 6. What it means is that electronic energy level means it is, this difference is more. Each electronic energy level is having again vibrational energy. So this is small compared to vibrational energy, and each vibrational energy is again having rotational energy. So this will be very small compared to these two. So this one, if suppose this is 1 means that what will be, this is 1 divided by 10 to the power minus 3. It is 0.001 will be this energy, and rotational energy will be 1 divided by 10 to the power 6, that is 0.00005 zeros followed by 1. Okay, that much small, order only. Okay, it's order only. It is not exactly like that. There can be changes, but order. So 10 to the power 6 times greater electronic energy level when you compare with the rotational energy level. 10 to the power 3 times higher when you compare with the vibrational energy level. Okay, thus electronic spectra shows vibrational rotational structure also. So or electronic energy level one associated with vibration, again it is associated with rotation. So what it tells is that we have, when you take the electronic spectroscopy, we can see all this vibrational and rotational structure in it. Vibrational changes will produce a coarse structure, whereas rotational change will produce a fine structure in the electronic spectra. Okay, that we will see later discussion. So you keep in mind this. So electronic spectra consist of both rotational and vibrational changes. And nature of the spectrum. Absorption of UV visible radiation induces not only electronic excitation but also simultaneously vibrational and rotational excitations. You can imagine this is the one vibration, this is the rotation. So when you take from this, it can rotate from here or it can go to this one. Like that, there can be transitions in the rotational and vibrational energy level. Each electronic transition produces a number of bands with one band for each vibrational transition and a number of lines for rotation. So when you take the electronic transition or electronic transition വരുമ്പോൾ ഒരു വൈബ്രേഷണൽ ട്രാൻസിഷനും ഇരിക്കും, നിറയെ റൊട്ടേഷണൽ ട്രാൻസിഷൻസും ഇരിക്കും. ഓക്കെ, വി ടേക്ക് വൺ ഒരു ട്രാൻസിഷൻ, ഒരു ഇലക്ട്രോണിക് ട്രാൻസിഷൻ നടക്കുമ്പോൾ ദർ ക്യാൻ ബി വൺ വൈബ്രേഷണൽ ട്രാൻസിഷൻ ആൻഡ് ലോട്ട് നമ്പർ ഓഫ് റൊട്ടേഷണൽ ട്രാൻസിഷൻ. Absorption in the above region consists of absorption bands made up from closely spaced lines. Therefore, we have learned in the case of rotational spectrum and all, we see one line and that will be separated by 2b dash. And when you take the case of infrared, you can get a single line. When you have more transitions, they will club together because the energy is Ishnu itself. Instead of seeing different lines, a single line is seen. But in the case of electronic transition, we won't see a line. Instead of that, we will see a band only. Okay, a broad band which will be seen. That's reason one electronic transition nadakkumbodhu vibrational and rotational transitions will be taking place. So associated with a single electronic transition, there can be a large number of rotational transition and one single vibrational transition. So vibrational core structure and rotational fine associated with electronic transition can be resolved only in gaseous sample. നമ്മളൊരു സ്പെക്ട്രം എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ gaseous sample എടുത്താൽ we can see all the things പക്ക. When it is in the solid and liquid state, that cannot be resolved properly. See, this is the one. You have an electronic energy level n is equal to 1, n is equal to 1, 2, 3. So each, this is V, that is vibrational energy level, and each electronic energy level is associated with large number of vibrational energy level in again each vibrational energy level is denoted again have various rotational energy level. So when a transition occur, you can see it can be from the ground state to the first excited state, or from a vibrational higher energy to the higher excited vibrational energy state, or it can be from rotational energy levels. So instead of a single line, what we get is small lines corresponding to the rotational and vibrational one, and as a result we will get, in the case of here it is a band, it's not a single line, it will be like a band, or band madri we will be getting, because it is related with lot of transitions. Electronic transitions will be the vibration transition. This is from 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth vibration level to the first excited electronic level. Okay, idaduthale it is from the last one to the third vibrational excited state in the first electronic excited state. അതേമാതിരി there can be lot of changes. Okay, ഈ വൈബ്രേഷണൽ എനർജി ലെവൽക്കും റൊട്ടേഷണൽ എനർജി ലെവൽക്കും ഉള്ള തന്നെ there can be transitions. It consists, that is why instead of a single one you will get a band. So the vibrational core structure and rotation associated can be resolved only in gaseous state. In case of solid liquid, these lines will merge together and result in a broad band. So നമുക്ക് കിടക്കുന്ന UV spectrum വന്ന് ഇപ്പിടി ഒരു ബ്രോഡ് ബാൻഡ് ആയിട്ട് വിൽ ബി ഗെറ്റിംഗ്. ഓക്കെ, നോ, ഇൻസ്റ്റെഡ് ഓഫ് സിംഗിൾ ഇപ്പിടി ഒരു എക്സാക്ട് സിംഗിൾ ലൈന് ബദല ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ബി എ ബ്രോഡ്. നമ്മൾ ഇത് വന്ന് ലാംഡ, ഇതൊക്കെ വന്ന് ഈ മാക്സിമം ഹൈറ്റ് വരുന്ന വി ടുക്ക് ഇറ്റ് എസ് ലാംഡ മാക്സിമം curve and it will be a broad. Adukku reason vanna, this is the one, it consists of all these vibrational and rotational spectra. Idu madiri oru well resolved vannu you can get only in a gaseous one. Instead of that, what we get will be a curve like this. Idhe madiri oru curve then we will be getting. Okay, and lambda max From the lambda max, we can find out what is the compound. In pure rotational spectra are shown only by molecules possessing permanent electric dipole moment. We studied. In a vibrational spectra, what is the condition? There should be a change in dipole moment during vibration. But electronic spectrum is shown by all molecules, since change in electron distribution in a molecule are always accompanied by dipole moment change. Electrons change ആകുമ്പോൾ always dipole change ആകുന്നതിനാൽ എല്ലാ moleculesum electronic spectra show. We can calculate rotational constant and vibrational frequencies for a homonuclear molecule like H2N2 from electronic spectrum. H2NO ൽ വന്ന് since it does not have a permanent dipole moment and does not produce a dipole moment change during vibration, it is IR inactive and rotational spectrum inactive, but it will give electronic spectrum. Adu pakka pure gaseous state la eduthaal we can use that to calculate the rotational constant and also vibrational frequency. Okay. Types of electronic transition. This is very important one. So when you get a molecule is formed, we used to explain by different theories. One of the theories is molecular orbital theory. We are taking that and we are proceeding. Okay. So in the case of any atom, the electrons are residing in energy levels known as orbitals. When two atoms are linked by a chemical bond, electrons from both atoms take part in bond formation and they occupy a new orbital called molecular orbital. The combination of two atomic orbitals to form two molecular orbitals. So when you have two atomic orbitals, these will combine together. They will give two molecular orbitals, one with a lower energy and one with a high energy. Lower energy we call it as bonding orbital and higher energy we call it as anti-bonding orbital. That we used to denote by bonding orbital sigma and pi, whereas anti-bonding sigma star and pi star. Then there can also be orbitals which contain electron not participated in bonding, that we call it as non-bonding electron or N electrons, lone pair electrons. That will be in the valence shell. All these electrons which take part in the bonding will be the valence, outermost shell. Inner shell or closed shell, they won't take part in any bonding, but what we are discussing here is about the valence shell, that is electrons present in the outermost shell. So there can be electrons which participate in the bonding and not participating. Participating in the bonding only we call either as a sigma electron or a pi electron. Not participating we call it as non-bonding electron. So sigma, pi, sigma star, pi star and N. These are the orbitals present in a molecule according to molecular orbital. Valence orbitals. Then this is the one. This is 1s orbital. So 1s orbital means two 1s orbital will combine and it will give a lower energy and higher energy. This we call it as bonding and this is anti-bonding orbital. Then pi electrons when you take, again the pi electrons will combine together and they will give you a lower energy and a higher energy. This is bonding orbital, this is anti-bonding orbital. So we have two electrons. So this we used to denote by sigma. Anti-bonding sigma star, this is pi bonding, pi star is anti-bonding. So pi star is having more energy. So if you take, you can see that these are the three orbitals. Sigma orbital is there, pi orbital is there, lone pair that we used to denote by N. So sigma, pi and N. In anti-bonding there are two, pi star orbital and sigma star. So energy wise if you take, sigma is the lowest one, pi is the next and non-bonding will be the highest energy. In anti-bonding orbital eduthaal pi star will be the lowest, sigma star will be having more energy. So these are the orbitals in a molecule according to molecular orbital theory. Now types of transitions. So electron in a molecule can be classified into 4 different types. Closed shell cell, that is inside one, we used to denote like this is it. Electrons 1s2, 2s2, 2p2, So whatever is on the outermost shell only will take part in bonding. These are closed one. They won't involve in bonding and they do not contribute to absorption. Electromagnetic radiation sent பண்ணும்போது they are not affected. In a single bonded electron, which we call it a sigma bond, they need high energy for excitation, but they can be made to transit from lower to higher energy. Then in the case of the multiple bonds, you have pi bond that is also readily available for transition in the UV range. Then paired non-bonding electron, they can also be excited from this non-bonding orbital to any anti-bonding orbitals. So what are the types of transition occurs? It is sigma to sigma star, n to sigma star, pi to sigma star and n to pi star. Yes, when a molecule is excited by absorption of the radiation, the electrons can be promoted from a bonding orbital to a bonding and non-bonding orbital to a high energy anti-bonding orbital. So transitions are sigma to sigma star. Sigma is bonding, sigma star is anti-bonding. A non-bonding to anti-bonding sigma orbital, then pi to pi star, n to pi star. So energy wise, if you see, you can see that sigma bonding orbital lowest, pi bonding next, n bonding and the next one. This is the bonding orbitals. This is anti-bonding orbital. So pi star, then sigma star. So which are the possible one from the lowest to the highest one? That is sigma to sigma star. Then pi to pi star. This is also possible. Then n can either go to pi star or sigma star. N to pi star is having less energy. This is n to sigma star. So energy wise, when you take what is the one? Sigma to sigma star needs more energy, then n to sigma star, then pi to pi star and then n to pi star. So for the transition, this needs the highest energy, this needs the lowest energy, other two in between. Okay. So the energy of transition is in the order sigma to sigma star greater than n to sigma star, pi to pi that is greater than pi to pi star and that is greater than n to pi star. So this is needed highest energy and this needs lowest energy. Then important features of different electronic transitions. Sigma to sigma star transition. The transition of electron from a bonding sigma orbital to an anti-bonding sigma orbital is known as pi to pi star transition. These transitions occur at the highest excitation energy than others. So pi to pi star, n to pi star and n to sigma star paathala sigma to sigma star needs the highest energy. And which type of molecules it occur? It occur in saturated hydrocarbon. And why it need highest energy? Sigma electrons are bounded strongly to the atom. So if you want it to come out, go to the higher excited energy, you have to supply more energy. Example, methane, lambda max is equal to 122 nanometer, ethane 135 nanometer. Then such a transition need high energy radiation. High energy, how is wavelength and energy related? Wavelength is equal to hc by lambda. So inversely, so high energy need agumbal low wavelength only needed. That is below 200 nanometer. What is the peculiarity of 200 nanometer? Usual spectroscopic techniques cannot be used in range since oxygen present in air absorbs at this range. So vacuum setup is needed to evacuate completely the oxygen in the air. And we need sophisticated instrument and this region is known as vacuum ultraviolet region. So this is less studied. We won't study much because we need sophisticated instruments. Then n to sigma star transition. The transition of an electron from non-bonding orbital n to an anti-bonding orbital sigma star is known as n to sigma star transition. These transitions occur in saturated compound containing at least one heteroatom with a non-bonding electron. ഒരു നോൺ ബോണ്ടഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഇലക്ട്രോൺ അല്ലെ ലോൺ പെയർ ഓഫ് ഇലക്ട്രോൺ ഉള്ള ഒരു ആറ്റം സാച്ചുറേറ്റഡ് കോമ്പൗണ്ടിൽ ലിങ്ക് பண்ணிയാൽ அந்த type of molecules will give N2 sigma star transition. Example, saturated halides, alcohols, amines, etc. So oxygen, nitrogen halides, these all have lone pair of electrons. Then example, butad methyl alcohol 174 nanometer, methyl chloride 169 nanometer. These are examples of compound having heteroatoms with lone pair of electrons. Then the transitions needed comparatively less energy than sigma to sigma star transition. They also occur in vacuum UV region. And the range it will occur in but one important thing is that lambda max value increases as electronegativity of heteroatom decreases. See, methyl alcohol is CH3OH, CH3Cl is methyl chloride. So oxygenum chlorine combine பண்ணும்போது chlorine வந்து electronegativity more, oxygen less. So electronegativity more ആയതിനാൽ electron ഇങ്ങേന്ന് excite பண்ணுന്നതിന് more energy needed. More energy needed means less wavelength. ഇത് வந்து less electronegative. So ഇത് രണ്ട് compare பண்ணும்போது this is bounded less to the carbon atom, this oxygen. And it can be easily excited to the higher excited state. So energy needed will be less. This compare பண்ணும்போது தான். Okay. That is what increases the electronegativity of heteroatom decreases. Lambda max value and inversely proportional to energy. These transitions are sensitive to hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bondingundayla lambda max value vanna vary agi. Ipo methanol vanna if you take a concentrated solution and dilute solution, lambda max value is slight difference will be there. Pi to pi star transition. The transition of electron from bonding pi orbital to anti-bonding pi orbital is known as pi to pi star transition. This transition occurs in unsaturated compounds like alkenes, alkynes, carbonyl compound, etc. Pi bond ulla molecules the transition കാണും, and pi bond വേണേൽ there should be multiple bond. The excitation requires smaller energy, hence occur at longer wavelength. മറ്റ് രണ്ട് ട്രാൻസിഷൻ കമ്പയർ பண்ணும்போது ഇതിൻ്റെ ലാംഡ മാക്സ് വാല്യൂ ഹയർ ആയിരിക്കും. 1,3-butadiene. 1,3-butadiene is 4 carbon atom. Okay. So this is the one. So this is 1,3. It gives 217 nanometer. In a benzene, 255 nanometer. Acetophenone. Acetophenone means this is the one, CH3. So this gives 240 nanometer. So this is a double bond. This is a double bond. Benzene ring double bond. Carrot and all looks orange color. It is because of this only pi to pi transition. That carrot carotenoid நிறைய double bonds இருக்கு, அதனால pi to pi star transition occur. So that will be occurring at lower energy. So it shows lesser energy, so lower wavelength. Okay. And these bands appear in the normal UV region. Then N to pi star transition. Now you can say it is a transition of electron from non-bonding orbital to anti-bonding pi orbital. Then where it occurs, unsaturated compounds containing heteroatom with lone pair of electrons. So 4 compare பண்ணும்போது this requires least energy. അതുകൊണ്ട് longer wavelength ഇത് occur ആകും. Seen in saturated, aliphatic, aldehydes, ketones, etc. Acetone and acetophenone are examples. 270 nanometer, 293 nanometer. These transitions occur at lower wavelength, but intensity will be low. Even though this occurs at longer wavelength, but when you compare to pi star transition, N to pi star transition intensity less. If this we get as like this may be like this. Intensity will be less. The type of compound, this type, that is carbonyl compound and all, give both pi to pi star and n to pi star transition. നമുക്ക് എപ്പിടി അത് ഡിഫറൻഷ്യേറ്റ് பண்ண முடியும்னு വെച്ചാൽ pi to pi star ഷോർട്ടർ വേവ് ലെങ്തിലായിരിക്കും. എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഹിയർ ഇറ്റ് സെൽഫ് യു ക്യാൻ സീ. See, acetophenone 240 and this is 293. Okay, acetophenone la, if you take, this is the compound, adile pi to pi star transition vanna it occurs at 240 nanometer. N to pi star vanna it occurs at 293. So this is in the shorter wavelength and this is in the longer wavelength. But intensity paathala, this will be having less intensity, this has high intensity. So we can differentiate it. But two bands, actually not two band, it will also show n to sigma star transition, it will be there. Sigma to sigma star transition will be there because it all the things is present in carbonyl bond. Is it a sigma bond is there, heteroatom is there, so it can give 4, but n to pi sigma star, sigma to sigma star, it occurs at a vacuum UV range. So normally നമ്മൾ എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ സ്പെക്ട്രത്തിൽ it may not be seen, but n to sigma star sometimes will be seen, pi to pi star and n to pi star will be seen. And எப்படி differentiate பண்ண முடியும்? Pi to pi star shorter wavelength, high intensity, n to sigma star longer wavelength, less intense. அப்படி differentiate பண்ண முடியும். So these are the 4 transitions. இது வந்து it is already asked, you can take it as a sure question. So what are the transitions is? Transitions are n sigma to sigma star, n to sigma star, pi to pi star, n to pi star. This occurs in sigma bonded to anti-sigma bonding. This is non-bonding to anti-bonding sigma. This is to from bonding pi to anti-bonding pi. This is non-bonding to anti-bonding pi. And energy wise, if you take, this needs more energy. So wavelength is short here. This needs less energy, but wavelength is longer. And these two will normally occur under vacuum ultraviolet. Okay, so that is the one. This is very important one. Transitions. So that is the introductory part of electronic spectra. Tomorrow you have exam. So till here it is there for the third mid-semester third internal exam. Okay. Thank you.